Well, welcome back to the Choosing Known podcast. I'm Laura-Catherine Etheridge.
And I'm Frikkie Groblar.
And we are very glad to be back with each one of you. So we're in this continuation of these interesting teachings of Jesus, like you had shared last time, where he teaches and then he shows these stories, and then he teaches and we see these stories, and Luke just lays these out, these matching teachings and stories, and we unpacked a little bit of that last time with the man with the withered hand, and
right.
Today we go deeper and
Today we look at just some of the teachings in the rest of chapter 6, which we'll come to the end of. And we know the chapters were put in a lot later, so I mean they're just lines in the sand really, but the rhythm remains the same. And I think the teachings of Jesus are so important for us to understand who he really is. So we see a lot in what he does, but a lot in what he says, you know. So I think the last time we met, we also spoke about how offensive he could be.
Yes.
And I think in some of the teachings here, they are pretty potent. I mean, it's a rich cocktail. I mean, it's enough to ruffle your feathers if you're really listening, you know. And so there really are 4 teachings, but I think the first one for me is sort of a base teaching. And it's, if I could say this, the most disturbing to my sensibilities, my natural sensibilities. But then the other 3 kind of tease out, they threads that come out that are maybe a little more specific. So it's interesting stuff.
It is interesting. It is. And, you know, it's, I've thought a lot about this with working with people, and, you know, we're going to see this aspect of his love, but how kind of the core of who we are is really driven either by love or by fear.
Yeah.
And really for the love to be there has to be the heart of Jesus and the gospel and God, like to really run from an internal operating system of love.
Yeah.
And so then like these other teachings that you're mentioning, I mean, they're coming out of, he's showing like, if you have that internal operating system, here's how you'll see this play out. Right. But if you don't, here's how you're going to see this play out.
Right. It's well put.
Yeah.
I love the language.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, we have the blessing of technology these days. It makes it easier to understand the human being. So anyway, well, shall we look at the scripture or anything else you'd want to?
Let's do that. So the first teaching is really chapter 6, 27 through 36, and it's in the ESV, it's just titled Love Your Enemies, and I'll read it in a moment, but that's the base one. And then judging others is 37 to... I think it's 42. That's a long verse. And then the tree and its fruit, and then building your house on the rock, which would be 46 to the end of the chapter. So let's do the first one first and just look at what I think is the foundation. Verse 27. But I say to you who hear, love your enemies and do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you, pray for those who abuse you. To one who strikes you on the cheek, offer the other also, and from one who takes away your cloak, do not withhold your tunic either. Give to everyone who begs from you, and from one who takes away your goods, do not demand them back. But as you wish that others would do to you, do so to them. If you love those who love you, what benefit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who do good to you, what benefit is that to you? For even sinners do the same. And if you lend to those from whom you expect to receive, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners to get back the same amount. But love your enemies and do good and lend, expecting nothing in return, and your reward will be great, and you'll be sons of the Most High, For he is kind to the ungrateful and the evil. Be merciful, even as your Father is merciful.
That's some radical teaching.
Oh my. It is. It really is. I mean, I work a lot in counseling, and I work with people who are taken advantage of.
Mm,
You know, they are abused, they are harmed.
yeah.
And I've often wondered if just getting people to a place of being able to cope
Mm.
and maybe being able to be safe, if we haven't in a Christian context actually fallen short of what God may have for them.
Oh, I think so.
You know,
I think so.
as good as those things are, and they're right, how do we get to a place of living generously again and freely again?
Mm.
Now, I know there's a difference between forgiveness and trust.
Yes.
Forgiveness is given, trust is earned. But I think we clam up and close and shut down
Yeah.
to everything else that's good in life,
Yes.
in our obsession to protect ourselves from the past and what's happened in the past, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when God wants us to be outrageously generous,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
and to live on the offense in terms of love and generosity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just the questions he even asks, like particularly the last one. You know, what benefit is there to lend to people who will pay you back? I mean, that's business, right? Like, if those are your business practices, you're bankrupt. You know, you can lose everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just doesn't work that way.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You know, what benefit is it, you know, really investing in good people who love you?
Mm-hmm.
My answer to those three questions is the exact opposite to what I think he's looking for.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think he's looking for, no, you're right, there's no benefit. And I'm going, sure there is.
yeah. Well, and I feel like I read this so through my original grid and not the way that Jesus is meaning it. Jesus, everything comes from a place of pure love.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very penetrating and genuine question. What is the benefit to you?
Yeah.
And then he says, what is the benefit to you? What is the credit to you? And then he goes on to say, like, you're just trying to get back this, but it's so little.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he's trying to point that out to our heart. Like, really? Like, that's all?
Yeah.
Like that's hardly any benefit. That's almost which for us is like that's like a great benefit, and he's going so far past. And I love how he says, in 35, you love your enemies and you do good and you lend, expecting nothing in return.
Yeah.
Because what he's doing is this gigantic paradigm, this huge pivot, and he's saying, yeah, you're not expecting it from them.
Yeah.
You stop expecting it from them. Why? What's the benefit if you're expecting it from them? But he says, expect nothing in return, and your reward will be great.
Right.
And sometimes I just stop myself and I just have to go business brain and I go, what does that really mean? Like, if I take him at his word and I really believe this strategy that he's laying out, what does that mean? He says, your reward will be great and you will be sons of the Most High.
Yeah.
He's saying, I'm the one.
Yeah.
You stop living like you're in this transactional relationship with human beings. Don't you see?
Yeah.
I'm the one. And I missed that for years.
Yeah.
Because my brain was in that old paradigm, like thinking so transactionally on the human plane.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm the Father in heaven.
Yeah.
And to your point earlier, which is so, it's almost impossible for us to understand
Yeah.
that we could be so hurt
Yeah.
We can be so abused, as some of these folks have been, as some people have walked through, and not and we can think, my only hope is to just be able to maybe function.
Yeah.
Maybe I can just cope.
Yeah.
Maybe I can be just okay enough to just have a decent life where I'm not constantly so tormented I can hardly function in my life.
Yeah.
And God says, no.
Yeah.
There's so much more, and you can get to the place, not only are you past all of that, but you're living, like you're saying, from this generous heart. But there's only one way we can do it.
Right.
There's the only way we can do it is to know who our Heavenly Father is and to realize how much He loves us and how incredibly abundant He is. And to me, then I recognize underneath that, that's when I finally internally take my hands off of trying to control the situation, because it's like, God, I really believe if I'm trying to control it, He is going to let me have what I want.
Yeah.
He's going to let me say, no, they owe me.
Right.
They did this to me. I want to try to kind of like manipulate this and make them see what they did. And it's like, and it's not until we let go. And He says, expecting nothing in return.
Yeah.
And to me, I go, and that's when I find the kingdom of the heavens.
Yeah.
That's when you realize this whole other world exists.
Yeah.
That I'm going to get crazy passionate.
Yeah. I love it. I don't think this teaching, and I don't think God minimizes our pain in any way.
No.
He just lifts our view to a much higher place. So when He asks these questions, He's not saying, just get over it. Someone else has it worse than you. What is that saying? I almost grew up with it, and I'm glad I'm forgetting it. But what doesn't kill you, whatever. Whatever.
Makes you stronger.
Yeah. There we go. I'm glad I'm forgetting that.
Me too.
That one, because
And so not the Bible.
Yeah. I think I love where He anchors it. He says, I will reward you.
Yes.
I know what this has done to you.
Yes.
I know what this pain has done to you.
Yes.
What they've taken from you. I know.
And He knows every detail.
And He says, I will reward. I will give you back.
Yes.
You don't have to keep looking at these people, going back to the same place, hoping for something different, when all you're going to probably get is the same old.
Yes.
So that's the one hook He hooks it on. Let me be that for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is, and you get to be like me. Be merciful as I am merciful.
Yes.
Come be my son. Come be my daughter.
Yes.
Come live like me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is
which we can't
crazy.
do. And we really can't do it until we realize, you mean I don't have to live that way? Like, you will do it for me. You will see me, and all to the very minute detail of what that meant, how hard that was, what I went through, and you will reward, you will take care of me.
Yeah.
But I think it's like when we're just totally drowned in that kind of love.
Yeah.
Then it's like, that's where the heart of God comes out of us.
Yeah.
Because then it's like we can. And I think I had it way backwards for so many years. I used to try to be like Him without receiving that love. And it's like, it doesn't work.
Yes.
It doesn't.
And that leads into one of the teachings where out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks and the actions happen. Mm-hmm. So you're absolutely right there. Mm-hmm. But before we go to those other teachings, the implications that he teases out, this idea of, this being the core of Jesus' message, I think. Jesus tells parables of, and I don't know how to bake bread. I love bread, but I don't know how it works. I'm going to get some stuff wrong, but he talks about the lump that, the leaven that fills the whole lump. And, so we were having dinner with friends the other night, and she brought out this sourdough, loaf she had baked. And I'm loving sourdough more because isn't as disruptive on my belly.
Yes.
But anyway, as if I need more bread. But I said, how do you make this? And she says, oh, I've got a starter, that, and then I just take that starter and it helps start another loaf, and I don't know the right words. And so I kept quizzing her, like, how do you get the starter or whatever? And she goes to her fridge and she pulls it out. She says, I've had this for 6 years. And that starter determines it's the DNA of every loaf, and you can just keep making loaves of bread,
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this is like the starter of
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful.
everything that comes out of our lives.
Yes.
And what's in that starter is key. Apparently
yeah.
you can have different starters, or,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And so I think, and I love, we were doing a workshop on the gifts of the Holy Spirit for our prayer team a few months ago, and just looking at where Paul in 1 Corinthians 12 and 14 describes the outworkings of the gifts and how they look and their names. And but dropped right in the middle is the starter, the chapter 13 of This is Love. Love is the better way.
Oh, yeah.
Not in place of the gifts, but the gifts coming out of love.
Yes.
And I think to make this practical for me, what has been helpful for me is, Paul writes in 1 Corinthians, and I think this helps bring it home for us. He says, he lists achievements. He says, if I speak in the tongues of men and of angels and do not have love, I'm a noisy gong and a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith and I move mountains, don't have love, I have nothing. If I give all that I have, amazing generosity, even give my body to be burned, and I do not have love, I have gained nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so clear that this is the starter, this is the core. Without this, everything else after that, it just crumbles, right? But when he starts defining love, he says love is patient, it's kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it's not arrogant, it's not rude. And he starts becoming specific about what love is. It's been helpful for me to take the achievements he mentions. So, for example, if I know my Bible better than anyone, I have all knowledge, or if I've sacrificed and I've witnessed and I've been a martyr, and you can plug anything in there. I've been generous. I've led many people to Jesus. I've started great churches.
Yeah.
But I am not patient. I am nothing.
Yeah.
Or I am envious.
Yeah.
I am nothing. Or I am rude.
Yeah.
It really
wonderfully offends.
Right. It wonderfully offends me.
Yes.
And even this morning, I'm trying to sort out a bill, and so I can't get into the websites. I decide to call, and then I get possibly a English second language person who's trying their best to help me. And I am irritated, and I only realize after a few minutes that they're getting worked up, and the more worked up they're getting because I'm worked up, the more difficult they're finding it to explain to me. Yes. And I'm firing 2 or 3 questions. And I just become horribly aware that this is not birthed in love, And I ended up being on the phone for an hour, but the Spirit of God just helped me through this to catch myself.
Yep.
All the good I'm trying to do is nothing.
Yes.
unless it's birthed in this outrageous message, the heart. Be like my son. I'm the one who rewards you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting for me in the process of that 1 hour conversation, how as my heart began to change and I began to recalibrate, and the the phone call ended with this person going, "Oh, and one more thing," and they had lightened up. Keep a smile today, and I just burst out laughing. You know, like it ended up really sort of cheesy and quirky, you know, but I could see such a change in the hour that we had chatted in them because I was able to go back.
Yes.
I needed to go back to the starter.
Yes.
I needed to, because the bread I was baking today wasn't good bread, you know. And so I really think that it's a rich cocktail, but I think it is. You know, I think Paul and others point to a very similar thing, you know. So just going to these three teachings quick, and I love them so because the first one, judging others, affects our seeing, and then the tree and its fruit affect our speech, and then I noticed that the last one, building your house on a rock, affects our listening. So maybe if I just read it, we can just play around with it a little and see where it goes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So the judging one is 37 to 42. Judge not, and you will not be judged. Condemn not, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured back to you. He also told them a parable. Can a blind man lead a blind man? Will they not both fall into the pit? A disciple is not above his teacher, and everyone, when he is fully trained, will be like his teacher. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, "Brother, let me take out the speck that is in your eye," when you yourself do not see the log that is in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take out the speck that is in your brother's eye. And so that's why I think this teaching speaks to our eyes. I see this in marriage counseling all the time. The tendency to see the other person or your spouse's issues so much more clearly than your own, but your issues are very much distorting even your spouse's issues because there's this log.
Yes, cannot see.
And you have no chance of seeing the splinter in their eye. But there isn't a good guy and a bad guy in these situations, right? Or in any conflict, really. So it's this idea of your eye, and it doesn't say don't ever judge. It's allow yourself to come under scrutiny, the scrutiny of his word.
Yes.
The scrutiny of loving friendships in love and truth.
Because the only way we are going to see that is the help often of other people. It's from the word of God, from Jesus, and from other people helping us see what we cannot see.
Right.
And there's a mighty lot of us we cannot see. If we just practically think of our eyes, there's a whole lot of who I am I cannot see without the aid of a mirror. And a lot of what is to be the mirror in our world is the gospel, the Bible, and other people.
Yeah, and I could block out half the room.
Oh, yeah.
Just with my thumb.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much. And so it's not a case of not ever judging, but it's this idea of knowing where to start first and realizing that my issues horribly muddy the water. The less I deal with my
Yes.
own heart, the more I'm not going to see. And then the other idea is this idea of measuring. If I'm going to indulge in that, I'm going to have that come back on me in a negative way. Be slow.
Yes.
If you want, judgment to be slow
Yes.
toward you, you be slow. You take your time, So it's so beautiful.
Well, and even that piece where Jesus says, to the measure that you pour out, it's going to be given to you. And
Right.
he's saying, if you're coming out of this place where you know the love that God has for you and you're being generous,
Absolutely.
I mean, he ties it directly to the generosity of that heart is what then creates the infilling that he continues to give.
Absolutely.
But we want it to be the other way around.
Absolutely.
Give to me and then maybe I'll be generous.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm continually surprised because I deal with people all the time, how the he said, she said, or the one side of the story. And then we're very quick to pass judgment.
Yes.
We find it incredibly hard to suspend judgment
Yes.
for a substantial season, allowing our own hearts to be dealt with, understanding the measure, We just want to come to the conclusion and wrap it up.
Yeah.
Define that issue.
Yes.
Put it on the shelf and move on when it's not that simple. Yeah. So he speaks about the seeing, how you see. I mean, there's even one scripture where Jesus says, when your eye is full of light, your whole life will be full of light.
I've been reading that lately. Matthew 6.
Yes.
Yeah.
Profound.
Very profound.
People say, well, I just call it the way I see it.
God, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes people will say things like, well, the Bible doesn't have anything to say about a lot of things in our world. It doesn't speak to this, and this. One thing, though, that's just grabbed me in working with people and in loving the Word of God is it actually has everything to say about everything. Because what Jesus talks about is the internal operating system, or that starter that runs your core.
Yeah.
He speaks to the two kinds that will run the core of the human.
Yeah.
You're going to have a fear base or you're going to have a love base. If you have a fear base, you absolutely have to and must seek your best.
Yeah.
You cannot operate in this world if you don't believe that there is a God that loves you, that wants to help you, and not have fear. You will have fear.
Yeah.
And if you have fear, you have to and you must look out for your own interest or you're crazy.
Yes.
You must have that internal operating system, but it's only in knowing that there is a God that is good, that wills your good, that loves you, that wants to do life with you, that you can have the internal operating system of love. It's only there.
Yeah.
And so, but when you have that internal operating system of love, it's very different. So Jesus talks about the two internal operating systems a lot. And then he talks about the whole process of perceiving, processing, and responding to reality.
Yeah.
And he speaks about this a lot through the Sermon on the Mount. How are you perceiving, which some of this we're reading? How do you see? How are you taking it in? How are you processing it? And then how are you responding, which he talks about the fruit of your mouth, the fruit of your actions, the fruit of your life. That tells you what's in the operating system of the heart. And when you realize that, you go, oh, so there's literally nothing in my world that Jesus didn't speak about, because when he talks about the core that runs you and he talks about the process you use for all navigation all the time, it's profound.
It is.
And we just get these teachings here where he's pointing these things out. This love, the love, what's in your eye. And it's like, and I used to be so much more, I think, hard on myself and hard on people. Like, why are you that way? Why am I this way? But when you realize the log has always been in your eye.
Yes.
Like you were saying, I could hold my hand up here and I could block out half the room. But that's where I come from to the gospel. I don't know what it's like to see the whole room.
Yeah.
I've never seen the whole room.
Yeah.
And Jesus, in his, like, what do we even call it? Love and mercy and, well, all the things he describes,
Yeah.
He comes to us and says, I know you can't see. You've never seen. You have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you how to see. I'm going to show you what it's like to be a body filled with light, because we don't know. And that's helped me have so much more compassion with myself and with other people, to realize we may never have seen.
Yeah.
It's not often that we're picking the other. We didn't even know there was a choice. We didn't know there was a different way to live necessarily.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do.
Yeah.
A lot of times we don't.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, even with some of these couples, I would doubt that they even had an extended period of their life where they really lived that differently.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels like this is really sort of a life message for you that you have.
Yeah.
You know,
It's big.
when I hear you speak, it's it's so powerful. It's great to hear you just break it out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed the way you put that. I think we put so much on externals
You do too.
and also just on willpower and my decision-making power. And I think I love the way you connected compassion, beg your pardon, compassion for others with compassion and curiosity for myself.
Yeah.
And we can sometimes think that's being self-indulgent or self-centered, but we're not talking about that.
No.
We're talking about a curiosity of why is that coming out of me? What is the next the next story is the good tree brings forth good fruit.
Yes.
And so when I'm not seeing good fruit, the impulse is not, boy, I've got to really select my fruit more carefully before I put it out on the stand, and trash the bad fruit. But it's going back to the tree. Lord, why is this coming out of me?
Yes.
Why is there this low-grade anger, anxiety,
Yes.
whatever that is?
Yes.
Lord, I know you have compassion for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Help me join you in,
the work that he wants to do.
Right.
Yeah, the work that he's desiring to do. And I agree, because it's not like letting self off the hook. To me, it's recognizing and agreeing with Jesus about what he's saying.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of why in the Corinthians 13 passage where he's saying, even if you get to the farthest extreme, like you die for your faith. I mean, you can't, like, these are like, he gives these extreme. Right. Even if you get to the farthest extreme.
Yeah.
So you've done do better, try harder to the maximum.
Right.
But the core is not changed.
Yeah.
Then it's like all this external, and you just squeeze the fruit out even harder, just eke out more fruit to show, but it's not.
Yeah.
And that's a gift of God.
Yeah.
Which is radical for us. That's not, it's me surrendering, but that happening is the gift of God.
Yeah.
That changes the core operating system.
Yeah. When you, a few moments ago, you threw out this line, we agree with God.
Yeah.
And that's really the essence of confession.
Yes.
Is I agree with you, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
My heart is in need of help.
Mm-hmm.
My heart is broken. I can see it in the fruit.
Yes.
That's coming out of me.
Yes.
Buck up, better fruit, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I had this week, I had a young man come to me, young family, and he's just struggling with a lot, And he asked me this question, and I knew exactly where it was coming from, because we often ask ourselves this question. But he goes, Frikkie, how do you determine what kind of a man you want to be? Like, what do you, in essence, like, how do I re-engineer my life to fit with everything Jesus wants?
Yeah.
I said to him, I know exactly what you're asking. But at the same time, I almost feel like it's the wrong question.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I have found is I don't try to decide who I should be. I don't know that. It's above my pay grade.
Mm.
What I do is I look at Jesus. I love Jesus. I become enamored by him.
That's right.
And then I notice things changing
Yes.
in me.
Yes.
It's not the cart before the horse.
Yes.
And it may sound like semantics, but it's really different.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
It's so different. Well, and it makes me think of, because it is very different. That's what it says in Genesis. That's what it says in Genesis, what is it, 2 and 3? Made in his image,
Yes.
after
His
his likeness. And it puts that in front. And so it's really in that whole, in the whole gigantic subject of development and awareness and spiritual growth and like this young man coming to you, it's like we have to go back to what image and what likeness. And like you're saying, if we're gazing upon him, if we are, one of my favorite words is of late, if we're beholding him, if we're really beholding him, then it's, as we do that, we are shaped into his image and his likeness. And all of a sudden, these incredible changes begin to take place inside of us. We become who we always were meant to be.
Yeah.
But it's through him.
Yeah.
That and beholding of him and looking at him, which is eyeballs, which is heart, which is listening with our ears, which is part of what Jesus is covering in these threads, like you're saying. He's covering that, and he's saying, like, if you can get to the core, like, and it's not that Jesus doesn't care about fruit. It's not that Jesus doesn't care about our actions or the log in our eye and the pain that he does.
Yeah.
But he's trying to point out, like, that will all just change.
Yeah.
If you behold him.
Yeah. Yeah, we were on vacation in the Caribbean a few weeks ago, and I bought a mango there on a fruit stand, and it's mango season there, and they're grown around the corner. We live here, we can get mangoes all year round, but when they're not in season and they've been shipped in from who knows where, they look great.
Yes.
They
do look great.
They can even look better than the ones out there on an island somewhere. But the taste of those out there, so the shipping in the fruit and sticking it on the tree or whatever, is just never is the same. It doesn't. Yeah. And so the story of the tree and its fruit, for no good tree bears bad fruit, nor again does a bad tree good fruit. For each tree is known by its own fruit. For figs are not gathered from thorn bushes, nor grapes picked from bramble bushes. The good person out of the good treasure of his heart produces good, and the evil person out of his evil treasure produces evil. For out of the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaks. So yes, I think there is a truth to watching what you speak, because it produces. Words are powerful. There's two sides to the same coin. So we don't use words loosely, but it also works in reverse. When your filters come down and you're real tired, or you're angry, or that thing that irks you just comes up again, watch what you're saying. And trace it back. It's a great indication.
Very, very good. Yep.
Yeah. So it's that two-way thing.
And then don't try to change it on your own. You just take it back to him.
Yes.
And Father, I recognize this is what is in my heart. This is what that action or those words are both. This is what they're indicating. And I want to have from you what you desire here, and we behold him.
Yeah.
And we receive, and we change.
Yes.
And then the fruit will change.
It will.
it
And
becomes different.
Jesus tells that parable of the guy who had a tree and the tree didn't bear fruit. And
Yeah.
they just wanted to cut it down. He goes, no, let's
Yeah.
give it another year.
Yep.
Till the soil.
Yes.
He's so,
Fertilize it. Let me work with this.
Yes.
Yes.
He's not going to snuff out a smoldering wick,
Yep. Yep.
throw away a broken reed.
Mm-mm.
So this is the God we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
He's the patient,
It's amazing.
cultivator,
Oh,
gardener.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But if we never recognize that, come back to him, we end up getting cut down. We lose.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually we get to that point.
And then, of course, the house on the rock. Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and do not do what I tell you? Everyone who comes to me and hears my words and does them, I will show you what he is like. He is like a man building a house who dug deep and laid a foundation on the rock. And when the flood rose and the stream broke against the house, and it could not shake it because it had been well built. But the one who hears and does not do them is like a man who built a house on the ground without a foundation, and when the stream broke against it, immediately it fell, and the ruin of the house was great. So I think the key thing for me here is they both heard, and building was taking place.
Oh, yes.
Construction was happening.
Yes.
But the difference was the one was listening, and I say listening is just hearing and doing, or listening deeply. And I think this series kind of started in that sort of vein. When we started months ago, this idea of listening takes time. It takes stillness. It takes, it's hard to love in a hurry. And God doesn't love us in a hurry. He's patient, He's in it for the long haul.
Very patient.
So it says we listen and listen. I mean, the story about the starter for this sourdough. I love pencil drawing, And so I took just an hour and just try to draw that jar that I saw. And I do it not because I'm trying to sell a painting, because I don't think they'll ever sell. And I'm not particularly proud of them, but I know that that's my listening process.
Yeah. Part of meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard it.
Yes.
It struck me.
Yes.
That this is how I listen.
Yes. Yeah.
What is your listening process?
It's a very, very good way of putting it. And I love how Jesus says, in the parable of the sower, to stay with your starter example. And he talks about that as you receive that word, it grows 30 and 60 and 100-fold. And that's how it works. We just continue to come to the Lord and behold him, and we meditate. We listen. Active listening is, what you're doing there with pencil drawing. We listen, and we change. And as we just keep changing, it's like it just grows. And I love that from Jesus, because we tend to think of it like, okay, well, I'll be changed. and we expect like perfection. And Jesus says, no. You just continue to do this, and over time, the love grows, and over time, you transform, and over time, you'll notice your life changes, and over time, you become this person who is 100-fold. Like, you're filled with this, and not only are you filled with it because it's the heart, and these stories show everything then flowing from your life is this kind of fruit.
Right.
But I love how he just keeps taking us back to, but the core of it is this.
Yeah.
And all this comes from that. And like you mentioned a little while ago, that's not just true of the gospel. That's not just true of the words of God. We're listening to something all the time.
Yeah.
So that's how the process works. The big question is, what am I listening to? Who am I listening to?
Yeah.
It will grow in me. It will transform me. It will shape my friends. It'll shape, like you said, the algorithms I scroll. It's going to shape my life,
Right.
all of it. And so that Jesus keeps coming back to, like, look at what you're making the center here for
Right.
yourself.
And in some ways, I mean, I'm a very visual person,
Mm-hmm.
but in some ways, our hearing is a greater vulnerability than our seeing. I've often thought of this. I can shut my eyes, I can blink my eyes in a second, I can look away, but stopping my ears takes more effort.
It's true. You can close your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's more vulnerable in that's kids' main, they can't read yet, but they can hear stories,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's
So,
a good point. Yeah.
So I think that hearing thing is really important. I know that you are as a business coach and everything you do, I may not know all the descriptions of what you do, Laura-Catherine. So I know you have charts and graphs up the wazoo that make my head spin, but there's a simple one that I use of just taking that scripture of Jesus saying, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And I put them in 4 different quadrants.
Yeah.
And I know we've chatted a little about this, but I put the heart and soul in the 2 lower quadrants and the mind and strength in the upper quadrants, because I think we're sort of mind and strength heavy in Western culture.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it's changing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Gen Z, as I read it, are more open to mystery and imagination and the spirit world and that. But traditionally, and so there's this, if I have the information, I go straight to application. I've gathered this, and so my mind is engaged, and so I move straight to my hands, and then when it doesn't work, I need more information. And I'm in the hearing process. This is how I'm tying it to hearing and listening. I hear it, and then let's get out. Oh, did I hear wrong? And it's just this frenetic back and forth between it didn't work, so I need another podcast, or I need another hack that'll help me. But the deep listening, active listening, is where we drop into the heart and soul. We go below what I call the waterline. We get comfortable with breathing underwater, living underwater, not being afraid of what's happening in here, but becoming compassionately curious.
It's beautiful and a lovely application too. Piece, like, for people to really think about what's going on here, maybe in my walk with the Lord, or what's going on with this particular passage that's resonating with me. Am I just trying to take information and run to application?
Yeah.
Or am I allowing it to go down into what I sometimes call exploring and exchanging? Am I willing to explore what's there and then do the work of the transition of exchanging what I believe for receiving of his truth? But that's a deeper thing. Like you say, that is the breathing underwater.
Yeah.
That takes time.
Yeah.
And Jesus has all the time in the world.
Yeah.
And he's willing to sit with us and do that. He loves that.
Yeah.
We're just so frenetic because we think we got to go change. But if we really stop and think about it, it's like, why?
Yeah.
Well, like, why? It's about heart change. That's what Jesus is after, not just behavior change.
Yeah.
So we could go on and on. How should we wrap up? Any other thoughts before we would close?
Yeah, I think the 2 things that we've both kept coming back to is this idea of looking at Jesus in vulnerability, in a childlike way, being open to being offended or our feathers ruffled, and then at the same time seeing that mirrored in relationships.
Yes.
Go deeper into relationships with trusted, mature, Jesus-loving people. You can't entrust yourself to just anyone.
No.
This is a scary journey. But I think that's just a great place to start and keep going.
I do too. Yeah, I do too. And probably too, I would just say maybe the reminder too, like to give it time. Like we've
Yes.
been saying through the whole series so far that we keep coming back to,
Yeah.
it's okay for it to take time.
Yeah.
It's okay for it to take months.
Yeah.
Jesus is not in a hurry,
Yeah.
and we shouldn't be either. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Which you gather in a moment can be taken from you in a moment, but
so true.
what is grown over a lifetime
Yeah, very
isn't
hard to take.
is yeah.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah. Well, we have really enjoyed being with all of you today, and we encourage you with that. Jesus loves you, and
Yeah.
he loves you very deeply, and
Mm.
and desires very much to be
Yeah.
in all of who you are with you,
Mm.
and to be with you as you desire to grow and change in whatever degree or capacity that looks like. He wants to be with you, and he can transform you, and he teaches us where that comes from. It comes from him. It comes from the heart. So we leave you with that. We wish you a very good month, and I look
Yeah.
forward to being back with you next time.
God bless you.